in a town that's doing ugly things. I want to thank Runa Ray for this fantastic project, creating peace flags in pieces from around the world. And I want to thank all the men, women, and children who have contributed a portion of this creation. It is a wonderful symbol of what is needed, because we desperately need not only flags, but also institutions, governments, structures, courts, arbitrators, and diplomatic fora for peacemaking. And a culture of peace, celebrations of peace, helps us get there. Our national cities are sprouting war monuments like mushrooms after a storm. I can see one of them behind you. This temporary peace monument here radically changes this city and any other city it's in at least for a day or a holiday weekend. Our calendars are filling up with war holidays, but many of them used to be for peace. The first Memorial Day in the U.S. was on May 30th, 1868, when two women placed flowers on graves from both sides of the U.S. Civil War. In a sense, this was an effort to finally end that war in U.S. culture, end the resentment, the bitterness, the hatred, the mythology of it, unite the children of the two sides in joint mourning of the tragic stupidity, and honor the dead, and by implication not create any more of them. Is there any better way to honor war dead than to create no more of them? Is there any worse insult to them than to go on piling them up? But like many a holiday originally for mourning the dead of both sides of a particular war, Memorial Day has been turned into a holiday for mourning and celebrating one side of many, many wars, the U.S. side, a very small fraction of the dead in the case of many of the wars. And that animosity over the U.S. Civil War is still with us. Today, it's in that house behind me. Today, think of how long that is. Think of how long it will be before people and their descendants recover emotionally from the many wars happening around the world right now. The people of the world are well represented by the people who have helped create these peace flags. The people of the world want art and beauty and would prefer investments in art and beauty to those in death and destruction and golden domes. Most people in the world want peace and want peace through peaceful means, as distinct from those weapons lobbyists and others who claim to want to create peace through war. We need flags and stories and songs and museums that tell the truth about the utter uselessness of war, that it endangers rather than protects, that militarism justified as deterrence actually provokes, that nonviolent activism can do better every useful thing ever claimed on war's behalf. Our amazing brothers and sisters in South Korea in recent months have been non-violently preventing a state of war. In Bangladesh last year, a student movement non-violently transformed that government. While in Bolivia, peaceful people non-violently prevented a military takeover. 2 years ago in Niger, non-violent demonstrations removed foreign military bases and deterred a foreign invasion. Indigenous communities in Latin America and in Canada are using the remarkable powers of non-violent action to protect democratic control from governments and from corporations. A couple of blocks from here, in a museum, you can see a counter at which participants sat in at one of the most important successful desegregation actions during the U.S. Civil Rights Movement. That exhibit should be multiplied 1,000-fold to encompass a truer picture of what nonviolent action can do. The people walking around and scootering and biking around the National Mall here in D.C. are not from a single nation. Like today's peace movement, they are from everywhere. They are from many of the places that these peace flags are from. They are from many of the places represented in online peace events today, where little by little, participants are learning to identify and think of themselves and talk as citizens of a world rather than partisans of a nation. When the government of your nation has attacked the nation of someone else with whom you are speaking in a video meeting, but the people of that nation are making great efforts for peace, once upon a time, you would have been sure to remark, We bombed that place, identifying yourself with a military that you had been protesting and excluding your friend from your use of the term we. Nowadays, you would be more likely to say we are working together to end the violence and create a better world, identifying with the good people of the world and not with any military. And this matters because the news media in whatever country you're in is likely to treat the deaths of those citizens as very, very important, but the deaths of people from the entire rest of the world as virtually meaningless. If we were to all identify as human beings and global citizens, then this last remaining respectable form of bigotry could not last. It matters also because even peace activists tend to label themselves pro this country or pro that country out of sympathy or solidarity with particular victims of a war, making it very easy for others to malign them as opponents of some other country. Maybe an art project like the peace flags is an easier place to start the process of labeling ourselves pro-peace and pro-everybody. A clearer path to understanding that peoples and governments are generally not the same thing. I once fulfilled an assignment to create an image of a world with peace. I could have simply taken a picture of my backyard. The wars are very far from me. I could have painted a picture of happy children playing in a bucolic setting. Instead, I edited a map of this place, downtown DC. I depicted a cleanly fueled high-speed rail line crossing the 14th Street Bridge, a solar energy facility having replaced the golf course at Potomac Park, a peace fountain in the middle of the tidal basin, a memorial to collateral damage on the National Mall. Here in the ellipse, I put a monument to international law. Just across the Arlington Memorial Bridge, I located a site for the burial of the last remaining nuclear weapon. And then I drew a dark green forest called Pentagon Woods in the area where the Pentagon had once stood. Those with more artistic ability, like those who've created these peace flags, can do more to help this picture than I can. One of the greatest artistic contributions to envisioning a peaceful world hides in plain sight. It is a song. It is a song that is performed at fancy, prestigious events in national cathedrals and halls of power, with apparently very few listeners ever paying the slightest attention to the words, which begin, "Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there are no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace." Seems easy, but is it easy? Or is it easy to imagine and hard to work for? Or is it easy to imagine but hard to start thinking and speaking and behaving as if it were real? I see the work of the global movement to end all wars and to establish a just and sustainable peace as involving the shaping of our actions to better suit that world we can imagine, that world that could be happier, that world that might be the only chance life on this planet has got. I encourage you to think of that when making peace flags, when celebrating peace flags, when perhaps urging the creation of a peace flag holiday, and when building a peace movement with fellow peace flag creators from all over this little blue dot in space. Thank you. Runa?